Alright folks, gather around because we're about to talk about vibe coding. Now I know this sounds like something that your hippie cousin came up with after a fitness retreat. However, this has got Silicon Valley and your basement dwelling brother buzzing. So, what is vibe coding? Imagine this, instead of spending hours coding what you want, you just tell an AI, boom, and you got it. It's like having a genie, but instead of getting 3 wishes, you get infinite lines of code. So essentially vibe coding, coined in February of 2025 by the OpenAI co-founder, is when you tell a large language model to do the coding for you. And this involves not really needing to understand the code, but rather just being able to prompt it, sometimes with voice, sometimes with text, and AI what to write. And tools such as Lovable and Cursor, and obviously ChatGPT and Claude have brought this on at an accelerating pace. But of course, the old school techies are clutching their keyboards like security blanket. That's not real coding, they cry. Sorry grandpa, but the times are changing. Get adapted or get left behind. That's the harsh reality of it. Now, don't get me wrong, vibe coders aren't off the hook either. Just because you can make an app by sweet talking an AI doesn't mean that you're the next Steve Jobs. Some of these folks build a simple to-do list app and all of a sudden they think that they're a tech mogul. Relax, Zuckerberg, your AI-generated hello world line isn't gonna change the world anytime soon. But here's the kicker. Vibe coding is democratizing tech. It's allowing everyday people to build products. It's powerful, it's giving everyone a shot without gatekeeping. Simple people can now come up with an idea and they can get working on that idea without reaching out to you, a developer, asking, hey, I have this idea, I want to go 50-50. Instead, they can start testing the idea by themselves and sometimes even build an MVP or a prototype, or in some cases even the full product. And this is a powerful thing. And what this is going to do is it's just going to speed up technical development. We're going to get new solutions that are sometimes better and sometimes worse, but we're going to get a lot of new solutions out there on the market, and we're going to get so at an accelerating pace, and that's a good thing for most people. However, let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Security. And we've seen a lot of this over the past few weeks now that vibe coding has gained prominence. People are talking about, oh, I can see your API key in every single call that you make to your database. I want to show my API key. No, maybe not. But critics argue that currently when people who don't have any real technical expertise or knowledge are building these products, they don't know about the vulnerabilities that their products can create. So critics argue that we're going to see a lot more scams, we're going to see a lot more leakage of personal data, we're going to see credit cards being charged when they shouldn't be. And yes, while this may be true in the short run, we also have to remember that this is as bad as vibe coding is ever going to be. It's only going to get better from here. And if you take back and look at some historical examples of this, for example, when the sewing machine or the steam engine were invented, people were like, no, the sewing machine is never going to be able to do zippers. Never. The human textile workers will never get replaced because these machines, they can't do zippers. A couple of months, a couple of years go by, and all of a sudden they do zippers better than anyone. And I think this is going to be the exact same case with AI, and especially AI in coding. And we've already seen this going on. At the beginning of AI, everyone was like, nah, we're still gonna need humans to prompt these and input these codes into the IDEs, for instance. And now, just a couple of years later, we're at the point where you're actually able to build a whole entirely functioning web app with just a standard language prompt using a tool such as Lovable, for example. So whether you like it or not, it's common. You may as well embrace it. Traditional coders can do something good with this too. Something that would have taken you a long time before is now going to be even quicker for you. And you can use it to validate ideas much quicker. For instance, if you're looking to build an app where you have a product that you want to build, you can validate this so much quicker than if you had to build this all from scratch by yourself, fueled by poor life choices and Red Bull in your closet office at 2 a.m. in the morning. Kick it back, relax, prompt your AI a little bit, and fix all the stuff that ends up being broken. Because if you try to test out some of these tools, you will see that it's not perfect, and they're far from perfect, but they will be. And I think that this is one of those cases where you either hop on this train and you learn how to work with these tools, or you get left behind. And that is not to say that you should give up your coding knowledge or your coding ambitions at all or whatsoever, because if you're someone who understands this and you're able to work with this, you're still going to have an edge over someone who just has an idea and is just building it in their closet. You will still have an advantage, rest assured. However, the discrepancy there is shrinking. So we're seeing that people who do have coding experiences and coded PhDs in computer science, The difference between them and the average Joe with an ambition is becoming smaller. Before, the average Joe with an ambition had to learn how to code, spend a lot of time doing that, or they had to go and annoy a friend saying, hey, I have an idea, let's go half season work on this, or they had to go to a venture fund, they had to raise capital, they had to take out a loan of some kind to generate an income, and they had to go hire or pay someone. Now, in order to do this in a more efficient way, they can do it by themselves. And therefore, you as a programmer, or you as an average Joe, there's not that much difference between you anymore. And obviously there's still a big difference. If you've got a PhD in computer science and deep knowledge, you're able to write a binary by hand, for instance, then obviously you have an advantage in how computers work. However, that advantage is going to start to get smaller and smaller, and we're going to see that more and more and more. It's not so much about your ability to build a product anymore, but it's your ability to sell it. And I think this is one of the things that we're going to see with the advent of vibe coding. The people who are able to sell their products and build a community around their products and services online are going to see a massive advantage over those who are just able to build good products. Because the obstacle to building a great product is getting smaller and smaller. So my message is, traditionalists, loosen up. And vibe coders, stay humble. The future is here, and all I know, it's a vibe. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna vibe code my way to a new app. Peace, guys.